The Warriors are fine. For some reason, and maybe it's just an American thing, maybe it's a sports fan thing, we love these things that are flashes in the pan, and we want them to immediately be considered great. We want them to be immediately considered timeless. But yet, we sit there and find a way to hate on things that are consistent. Everyone hates the Patriots. They're consistent. Everyone hates the Spurs. They're consistent. Everyone hates Alabama football. They're consistent. You know, the Golden State Warriors are as consistent an NBA team as we've seen since Kobe and Shaq Lakers and Jordan Bulls. But they lose 4 out of 6 games, and it's a panic attack. What's wrong with the Warriors? Oh, they're not going to repeat. Oh, they need Kevin Durant. Oh, Steph Curry's not that great anymore. Could you imagine if your team had the expectations that if they lost 4 out of 6 games during any stretch, the world was ending? The Cavaliers in the exact same time lost 4 out of 5, and everyone's kind of like, it's okay though. They play in the East, no big. They have LeBron, no big. They'll figure it out. The Golden State Warriors, to put in context here, just so everyone stops freaking out about how quote unquote terrible they're doing. They are 53-14. They are, over the last 3 years, 192-38. The all-time record for a 3-year stretch in the NBA history is Jordan's Bulls 95-98. For them to tie the record, they'd have to go 10-5. Them to break the record, 11-4. Are we trying to say the Warriors don't have a 10-5 stretch in them? They can't pull that off? Win 2 out of 3 games? Can't win, get on 1 3-4 game win streak, go 11-4? For them to get to 204-42, or even to 203-43 over the last 3 years and tie the Bulls, not only is that impressive, because I don't think anybody would say that any of the guys on this team are as good as that guy who wore number 23 for the Bulls. Not that they haven't had great players, not that they haven't had great supporting roles, but no one's Michael Jordan. We get that. The Warriors are a jump shooting team, and not to just piggyback off of what some guys, a couple highly notable guys say, you live by the jump shot, die by the jump shot. To some degree, that's true. You will go through slumps. But I'm sorry, if your slump over a 3-year span shooting a lot of jumpers and shooting a lot of three-pointers is you losing 4 out of 6, I think you're doing something right. All the Warriors did was they're hitting the point they hit last year when they hit it closer to in the playoffs. They're just hitting it now. And I think that's the best case scenario for them. Because if they get it rolling when the playoffs come around, it's over with. Cleveland doesn't have a chance. San Antonio doesn't have a chance. If they are clicking by the time the playoffs come, they will get their second title in 3 years. Yes, every shooter goes through slumps. And this team full of shooters will go through slumps. They've avoided it better than other teams because they have 1, 2, 3 guys that it's generally hard for all 3 to go on a slump at the exact same time, but it has happened. Currently happened. They're still, this year, quickest team to ever clinch a playoff spot. They are, like I said, 10-5 away from tying the regular season record for wins over a 3-year stretch. 11-4 from breaking it. Both extremely feasible. Both most likely to happen. And they reinvented the league. the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James, they're playing like the Warriors play. And all they're doing is, instead of it being Steph and more shooters around him, it's LeBron and more shooters around him. They've reinvented the way teams want to play basketball. Teams want to sit there and spread out, play small ball. And that's for the most part due to the fact that the Warriors took it and ran with it at such a high level of excellence that the other teams are trying to get. We're like, I've made this point before. We're copycats in America. We all love it. We see something that works. We all want to do it. Everybody wants to be the Warriors. Trust me. I've watched a lot of teams. I've rooted for a lot of guys. I'm not going to say my own personal team, but if my own personal team lost 4 out of 6, and that was the rough stretch out of a 3-year span, I think we're doing all right. Also, shout out to Steph Curry. They won last night, 106-104. He had 29 points on his 29th birthday. I love stats like that. It's one of those things you find on the Elias Sports Bureau. One player scored the most points, or scored the identical amount of points as years he's been alive,